We're coming here to verse 28 of the 6th chapter of the Gospel of John. Jesus has warned this crowd that has found him near Capernaum, the same crowd that has enjoyed the feeding of the 5,000 the previous day, that they shouldn't labor for food that will eventually perish. Even the food that Jesus provided to them in the feeding of the 5,000 was nevertheless only that simple physical food, and they would eat it and be hungry again. Obviously, the miracle was intended to teach a different point, a greater point, a much more important point, that there is a kind of food, so to speak, that is going to nourish a person forever, just as Jesus had said to the woman at the well that there is a source of water that could spring up to everlasting life so that she would never thirst again, so that these would never hunger again. And so he tells them that they should labor for that. They still don't quite get it, and so they ask the question now, trying to get clarity as to what Jesus is saying. And we have a pon. This is the second aorist, of course, from lego, I say, third person plural, aorist active indicative. They said, un. The conjunction means therefore, postpositive, so they said therefore, pros auton. Pros is the preposition, it takes the accusative. Whenever it's used in a situation of a conversation, it implies a little bit of a forceful asking of the question. Normally the dative would be used, but when pros auton is used, then it means a little bit more of a question which we might say is in your face, and that's kind of the sense that we have here. So they said to him, asking this somewhat urgently, we might say, te, what, the indefinite pronoun, poiomen. This is from poiao, it means to make or to do. This is the first person plural, present active subjunctive, used with the question here. So what should we do would be the idea of it. What should we do? Hina, which is used with the subjunctive as well. So hina, in order that, ergozometha. Same word as we found in the last sentence or the last verse. This is from ergozomai. It means to work or to labor. This is again the first person plural, present active subjunctive, which is what's used with hina, as we see here. So two subjunctives, poiomen and ergozometha. What should we do in order that we might work? And then ta erga, the definite article, plural, accusative, the works, erga, works, to theou, of God. Probably the question is driven by some idea that Jesus has just told them that they should not work for food that is going to perish, and that leaves in their mind a sense that, well, then there must be a different kind of work, a different formula, a different program of labor that they should be undertaking, and they ask in a simple enough way, well, then what are those works? Probably expecting Jesus to spell out, a list of 2 or 3 items or maybe a dozen items that they need to do in order to work the works of God and achieve the benefit that he's been describing. Of course, the answer he'll give will be somewhat surprising, but we'll have to save that for the next verse.